This is the PickBits Daily Signal for Thursday, July 9th, your signal in the day's tech noise. Here's the lineup. 1. Anthropic put its autonomous work agent on your phone this week, and its own numbers say coding is only a sliver of what people use it for. 2. California just closed the loophole that let a driverless car break the law with nobody to cite. 3. Meta is now bricking the camera on its smart glasses the moment someone tampers with the little recording light. And 4, on the brighter side, a Stanford team showed a language model can predict how a social science experiment will turn out about as well as a room full of expert forecasters. Let's get into it. This is the PickBits Daily Signal. Story 1. Back in May, Anthropic's own chief executive said AI would wipe out half of entry-level white-collar jobs, and we pointed out he was the one shipping the agents to do it. This week, those agents moved into your pocket. Claude Cowork, the tool that carries out multi-step work on its own, now runs on the web and on your phone, not just a desktop. Start a task at your desk, get the updates on your phone, and let it finish with your laptop closed. Anthropic also put out the numbers on what people actually do with it.
Same time.
In workplaces, agents can already approve expenses, onboard workers and clients, and collaborate on project ideas. They might also work in customer experience and client management.
Across more than 600,000 organizations, software development was just under 9% of the work. The rest was the ordinary office stuff: reports, spreadsheets, contracts, drafting content. The exposure is the everyday desk job, not just the coders. Anthropic named the problem and sold the cure in the same breath. Its own demo leaves the follow-up email drafted but unsent, so a human is still in the loop for now. If your day is reports, contracts, or briefings, run one low-stakes task through it that you can fully check before you trust it with anything real. Follow this one, because the launch matters less than which desk jobs quietly get handed over next. Story 2. For years, if a driverless car ran a red light or nearly clipped a pedestrian, there was genuinely no one to write the ticket. California traffic law only ever talked about human drivers, so when a robo-taxi broke the rules, an officer had nothing on the books to cite. Here's what that gap actually looked like on the street.
It's in 1 minute.
If you or I are driving like that and we get pulled over, we get a ticket. So somebody needs to be held accountable.
Phoenix police say they are able to cite Waymo, but it's not something they see or do often.
That's the exact hole California just closed. New DMV rules, in effect since July 1st, give officers a real tool. A formal notice of noncompliance that goes straight to the car's manufacturer and to the state, not a shrug at the roadside. If there's an active emergency nearby, local officials can now order a whole robo-taxi fleet out of the area within 2 minutes, and the company has to answer for it. In the same package, California lifted its old ban on self-driving heavy trucks. That rule opens the highway to autonomous 18-wheelers, a bigger risk this update doesn't fully answer yet. If a driverless car breaks the law near you, that violation now creates a real paper trail. If you run an AV fleet in California, budget for the 2-minute clearance window because these rules tend to become the national floor. Follow this one. Story 3. Back on June 27th, we covered Meta's cheaper face camera glasses hitting a mass market price, right as the first rulebook for them showed up, after people kept getting caught filming strangers. This week, Meta took the next step, and it is a hardware one. On its Ray-Ban glasses, there is a little white light that switches on when the camera is recording, so the people around you know. The problem: some owners moved past covering it with tape to actually modifying or destroying that light, some paying a third party to do it, specifically so they could film people who had no idea. Here is why that light matters in the first place.
Various purposes.
For those who don't know about them, you may not even know you're being recorded. Using these glasses is simple. All you have to do is press this button right here, and it starts recording up to 3 minutes. The only way you know it's recording is by seeing this blinking white light.
His answer is to brick the camera entirely the moment it detects the light has been tampered with. Older glasses only paused recording while the light was covered. This update kills the camera outright. Meta also says it will pull listings for services that defeat the light, and it has left legal action on the table. Read it straight. This is a genuine improvement. It took people physically destroying the warning light to get here. This is Meta designing for the bystander, not the buyer. If you own a pair, the update is mandatory, and if you are standing near someone wearing them, that lit white light is still your only signal. Follow this one. Story 4, and on the brighter side. This is what AI looks like pointed at a slow, expensive problem instead of your attention. A Stanford team published a study in Nature showing a language model can predict how a social science experiment will turn out about as well as a panel of expert human forecasters. They took 70 pre-registered survey experiments, more than 100,000 participants, and had the model simulate how a representative sample of Americans would respond to each one. The simulated results tracked the real ones closely.
Used the American National Election Studies, ANES, for their human database and found a high correspondence between how the AI and humans voted. David Wingate, a BYU computer science professor and co-author of the study, said, "I was absolutely surprised to see how accurately it matched up."
The correlation held at 90% even for studies published after the model was trained, so it was predicting, not remembering. The promise is a cheap first pass. Screen 100 ideas in an afternoon, then spend the real budget on the handful worth running. Here is the honest part, and the authors say it themselves. The model overestimates how big the effects are, and a simulated result is not a finding. Run the real experiment before you act on it. Used that way, as a screen and not an oracle, this is the good version of a large model, taking cost and time out of research instead of taking something from you. If you design or fund studies, treat it as a way to narrow the field, never as the answer. Follow the thread. That careful version of AI, the one that gives more than it takes, is the note I want you leaving on. That's the signal. I'll see you tomorrow.